and thanks for joining us. This is the evening news from the studio of ABS, and we'll start with the headlines. My name is Ifunaya Amafili. Governor Obiano restates commitments towards effective implementation of World Bank projects in the state. The state government intensifies efforts to reduce the effects of flood on farmers. Nigeria initiates measures for African standby military force. And on the foreign scene, U.S. warns Iran over threats of attack. World Bank delegation visits Obiano, ranked states best in implementation of partnership projects. Governor Willie Obiano says his administration is committed to meeting its financial obligations and ensuring proper implementation of World Bank programs in the state. Governor Obiano disclosed this when he received the country director of World Bank in Nigeria, Mr. Rachid Ben Masoud, during his courtesy call on him at the Governor's Lodge, Anambra. And our Government House correspondent, Kenechukwu Ofoma, was there and brings in this report.
Mr. Bemesaud, who led a 10-man delegation from the World Bank on the visit, is in the state on a country program portfolio review exercise. The two-day portfolio review event, which is done annually, will attract delegations from 11 Southeast and South-South states and witness deliberations on factors hampering the smooth implementation of World Bank programs in various states and what can be done collectively to fast-track the process. Governor Obiano, in his remarks, said World Bank has remained a major partner assisting the state in key sectors of the economy, including agriculture, education, environment and governance, pointing out that the Fadama Additional Financing Program has helped the state do all year-round farming. He said, as it is customary with his administration, it had set up a viable coordination mechanism that has not only ensured effective implementation of World Bank programs, but also maintained accountability and transparency in the management of funds from the development partner. The governor, while commending the World Bank for what it is doing, which have been instrumental to the success of his administration, promised that his government will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all its projects succeed in the state.
I keep reminding my people that World Bank money is not a grant. It's an obligation that the state will pay down the line, and therefore must be properly used. So the mentality that is World Bank, we don't do it here. We try and apply the same process, same strictness, the way we approve our projects here. That's the same kind of eye that we use in looking at all World Bank projects.
The World Bank country director in Nigeria, Mr. Bemesaud, who revealed that the idea behind the review exercise is to work with governments of the benefiting states to accelerate the pace of work on projects the bank is funding, commended Anambra for emerging the best performing state in 2017 in the Southeast and South-South, having disbursed over $13 million for World Bank projects. He disclosed that Anambra has been selected to benefit in some of the bank's newly approved programs, including New Map Additional Financing, Rural Electrification Projects, State Fiscal Reforms Program, and Rural Assets and Agricultural Marketing Projects.
We are actually having a multi-sectoral approach to the states. So it is our commitment to work over the next couple of days to ensure that the program delivers to the citizens of Anambra.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Development Partners, Mr. Mark Okoye, revealed that the finance provided by the World Bank has been earmarked to fund 10 to 15% of the state's budget for 2018, adding that as a result, the coordinating committee comprising line agencies is committed to following up through monitoring and supervision to ensure to achieve effective implementation of the projects for the benefit of the people.
The World Bank is an extremely important development partner to the state. Currently, the funding we get from World Bank helps us implement about 10 to 15 of our annual budget in the state across a number of areas. We have environment, agriculture, infrastructure, community social development, education, and a few other areas.
According to verifiable reports, World Bank has so far made financial commitments to the tune of about $130 million across various programs in Anambra State, with about $43 million yet to be disbursed. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, I am Kenechukwu Ofoma, reporting for ABS News.
As part of efforts to mitigate the effects of flood in some communities along the riverine areas, the State Coordinator Office of the IFAD VCDP has notified the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation of the disaster. The situation, however, took the state head of the organization to Anambra East and West local government areas for proper documentation and evaluation. And our correspondent, Ebele Ezer, has the rest of this report.
On arrival at Anambra West local government area, the team noticed that the entire area has been flooded while all the inhabitants have relocated to holding centers across the state. Speaking on the development, the state head of Agric Insurance, Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation, Mr. Oseloko Zoma, described the havoc as a huge loss to farmers. Mr. Ozoma, who assured of the organization's intervention, lamented that nothing can be harvested from the farm.
The town has been vacated in view of the flood that came from the Niger. You must be aware that this community share boundary with the river Niger, and currently all the farmers has left for IDP camps. If you look around, you can see the siege. They has taken a story building is already on the siege of water, half gone. And at the same time, the farmers, we can't even find any of the farmers. We can't even have our way to the farm site now. With the record, you can easily see that this is a total loss to our farmers.
The IFAD VCDP liaison officer for Anambra West local government area, Mr. Rufus Imoka, noted that the 2,328 VCDP rice and cassava farmers in the council area were insured.
The number of farmers under VCDP in Anambra West, all put together, both cassava and rice, is 2,328. This local government is predominantly agrarian area. It's all about agriculture. So the ones that are identified with the VCDP is 2,328 farmers. Initially, before they went back to farm, the VCDP management could be able to link all the VCDP farmers, both rice and cassava, to NAIC. That is insurance, Nigerian insurance, people that is involved in insurance. So most of their farms were insured.
In their separate speeches, the chairman, Cassava Platform, Anambra West Local Government Area, Prince Paul Okolo, and the chairman, Anambra East VCDP Rice Farmers, Chief Udenzel Fordele, disclosed that about 40 hectares of cassava farm and 20 hectares of rice farm, almost due for harvest, have been submerged by the flood, appealing for assistance from all levels of government.
We encounter a lot of damages this year, and we are appealing to government to come to our aid, because we don't have any other hope.
Narrating his ordeal, a seed rice entrepreneur who was trained by IFAD VCDP at International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, Ibadan, Oyo State, Mr. Chibuzo Obiechine, said his 2.5 hectares of seed rice farm, which the National Seed Council of Nigeria visited last 2 weeks during transplanting, has been covered by flood.
2 weeks ago, the National Seed Council via video wali GPS nena na nina oga avune kana me transplanting okay kitazi amu amaro zive na men na mila be obukula na nina ona enwe and na nwa the 2.5 hectares wana and agasa sigi agasa mila biazia bukozi earlier.
From Anambra East Local Government Area, I am Ebele Eze reporting for ABS News.
Still on the flood issue in the state, Ibauku community in Ayamelum Council area, like other riverine communities of the state and beyond, is now counting losses as flood destroyed farmlands and submerged buildings and other facilities valued at millions of naira. Our staff reporter, Blessing Ijedibia, who was at Itulu farmland, observed that the flood resulted to premature harvest of crops, and now we bring you her report.
A visit to Itulu farmland, where flood water submerged many hectares of land, destroying various farm produce, including yam, cassava, maize, and a species of beans known as akede, among others. Many of the affected people were seen in a boat crossing Anambra River to a safe ground. One of them, Mrs. Udemma Ejike, said she decided to save her life and the lives of her children as the flood has continued to rise. The flooding has resulted to premature harvest, as premature yam and cassava tubers were spotted in various parts of the area, while Okada riders make brisk business as they convey flood victims to upland. Some of the farmers, including Chief Ibanugo Biora and Ajana Onyebo, said the flooding has inflicted heavy losses on them, as farming is their major source of livelihood, and call for assistance from the state government.
Avoka ndị banye na-ata wa atata ego onweleze ngolu ihe na banye kịta olile akpụ olili ji olili rice anyị na-achịgo olimede na gọọmenti ga-agbasa enyemaka
keche ụta anyị bụ na emesighị ihe niile na rice ya etinyego fertilizer gbasa ọgwụ niile gbacha ma weeding chemical everything mmiri abịa unknowing where lie ma akpụ lie ma ji lie ma rice ma ede ma akịdị akụlụ ya.
On his part, the Chief Security Officer of the Town Union, Mr. Ngosino Abiam, said they now have a challenge of securing the flood victims from the most hit communities. In a similar development, flood has destroyed over 200 hectares of rice farm at Aomo in Ayamelon local government area. The destruction was occasioned by the major river in the area, the Opoto River, which overflew its bank. ABS News crew observed that some of the crops were in primary stages of growth, while others were almost at maturity stage before the menace. Some of the farmers, including Mr. Peter Anganti and Clement Udobiora, disclosed that most farmers took loans from banks, while others borrowed money from other sources. They call on the federal and state governments as well as humanitarian agencies to come to their aid.
Collected loan from bank through our cooperative society and through friends. I collected loan of 6,200,000. I included my own 2,100,000, making it 10,300,000 to cultivate 35 acres of land. All this fund, I used it to cultivate 35 acres of land on this particular land. As you can see, Ojabo, as you can see, these are the ones that have been already much older. They have already produced, rice is here already. Then you can see the green ones. All those green ones belongs to me. They were yet to produce, unfortunately, before this flood came into this place.
Okay. We are appealing to the state government, maybe through one of the agencies like SEMA, to come as a matter of urgency to our need.
In his reaction, the traditional law of the town, Igwe Chris Chidubem, describes the flood menace as unfortunate. Also speaking, the President General of the Town Union, Chief Michael Nebife, said the community assisted the victims by providing boats to evacuate farm produce to safe ground.
We hope for a bountiful rice harvest in Omo Ayamelon local government area of Anambra State may not be as expected. Blessed Ijelibia, ABS News.
The public presentation of the book Self-Reliance Through Passion, written by Mrs. Millian Nsofo in Oka, attracted book lovers, literary experts, and other stakeholders. The book presentation hosted professionals who deliberated on the author's literary purpose, skills, and the relevance of the subject to contemporary literary realities. Our correspondent David Ezeigwe, who attended the book launch, reports that the 5 sections and 86-page novel is a debut work of Mrs. Nsofo and has received rave critics from reviewers who described its content as significant antidote to some present challenges in the society, especially among the younger generation. And we have the rest of that report.
Lending a voice to the discussion, The member representing Anambra Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Senator Victor Ume, who was represented by the transition chairman for Anocha local government area, Chief Iko Biejofor, said the book treats the critical issue of youth restiveness in an era of unemployment where self-reliance must be at the vanguard of youth development. The Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adinoba, who was represented by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Mr. Uche Nwora, said the efforts of the author reflect the initiatives of the Obiano administration and the Minister of Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy. Mr. Adinoba urged the author to also explore the vast opportunities of the online media and pledged that the ABS will partner her through its programs both on radio and television.
Events where we give authors, comedians, artists, people in ICT, web developers, people in branding and marketing, fashion designers, all those kind of people, to give them opportunity.
The chairman on the occasion and the one-time chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Anambra State Council, Comrade Nathaniel Anibo, spoke on restructuring the mindset towards hard work and implored the youth to keep their minds busy with works that are driven by immense passion.
Self-reliance through passion. If the youth, the younger ones, will get hold of this book and they read with passion, it shall be well with them.
The book reviewer and managing director, Anambra Newspapers and Printing Company, the publishers of National Light, Sir Chuka Nabife, observed that the book established a clear picture between mindset and motivation, pointing out that it will be a pleasurable read for all audience. For the author of the book, Mrs. Nsofo, the motivation behind the novel was the need for today's youth to be creative and develop a means of self-reliance in view of the high unemployment rate in the country.
So many students go into school without actually knowing what to study in school. Some go to school because others are going. Some are studying a particular course because maybe their friends or the course is worth studying. But what they really have passion for is within them, driving them to come out. But because of the fact that they are not proud of what they are passionate about, they, suppress it and then go for a course worth studying, so to say.
Also at the book launch were the traditional ruler of Agoligwe Innocent Obodako, former managing director of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, Ikechukwu Abana, and Lady Chiwe Nedum, a public relations expert, Dr. Chuks Osuji, among others.
Legislators have been called upon to promote good governance through entrenching effective communications among their constituents. Participants made this call in a town hall meeting which was organized by Justice Development and Peace Caritas, JDPC, at Professor Kenneth DKE Library, Oka. And our correspondent, Emmanuel Chigbata, brings this report.
Elected members of JDPC and Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, JONAPID, was aimed at addressing issues between lawmakers and the masses. Speaking during the program, a lead discussant who spoke on the essence of open budget in the country, Mr. Chuka Okafor, said budget has remained the most important legal document next to the Constitution and the most powerful social and economic policy instrument which plays a central role in the lives of citizens, and they cried that the masses are neither involved in the budget-making process nor allowed access to it when passed. He appealed to elected representatives to provide effective representation for the people by carrying them along in the budget process, even as he noted that 13 states in Nigeria operate open and accessible budgeting, exemption of the Southeast.
For you to be true, you need to liaise with the people where you need. Get to a fact of the community. How do you want it? Set your priorities, scale of preference. Amount of data more important. Can you need? What time is it needed? We are very set for budget planning. And by one statement, I have a budget. You cannot decide for us without us.
stressing the importance of community engagement in budget planning. A member of JDPC Nnewi, Mrs. Anadu Nchedo, encouraged leaders of various communities in the state to submit their charter of demands for 2019 budgets. In his speech, a participant from Jonapid, Mr. Uche Nadi, who spoke on Anambra State Disability Rights Bill, applauded lawmakers for passing the bill into law.
People that have been in struggle to get our bill, we call it Disability Rights Bill, passed into law. The essence of that bill is to harmonize the interests of people living with disabilities in all the state of the Federation.
Discussing issues on passing local government autonomy bill, another discussant, Elder Eloka Okafor, who explained that no state house of assembly in the country has passed the bill, said that if true federalism should be practiced in the country, there must be autonomy of the local government system.
Anambra State is a signatory to the OGP, Open Government Alliance. In fact, Anambra, I think it's the first state in the south to assent to sign up to the Open Government Alliance, and also the first state, the leading state in the southeast that signed up, for Open Government Alliance. And part of the thing the Open Government Alliance is talking about is this open budget, physical, transparency.
In Oka, Emmanuel Shibata, ABS News.
We'll go for a short break now, but we have more news for you on the national scene when we return. Do stay with us.
Yes, Nigeria Independence Anniversary is here again. Come Monday, 1st October 2018, Nigeria will be celebrating her 58th Independence Anniversary. Your darling station, Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, Heartbeat of the East, has created a special Independence Day package on ABS 88.5 FM and ABS TV Channel 24 to give the Anambra ministries, departments and agencies, corporate organizations, civil society organizations, and other patriotic organizations the opportunity to celebrate and felicitate with His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano, Governor of Anambra State, the Anambra and fellow Nigerians. ABS 58th Independence Anniversary Package cost only 20,000 naira. This package covers Independence Day message on TV, 3 slots. Independence Day message on radio, 3 slots. You may also pay for single Independence Day announcement on TV for 5,000 naira or on radio for 3,000 naira. Please contact KC on 08033888526 to make your bookings. Let us celebrate Nigerians' 58th Independence Anniversary together.
Welcome back, and we're moving over to the national scene now. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema, says Nigeria is pushing for the takeoff of African Standby Force, STF, which can be deployed in times of crisis in various parts of the continent. The minister said that Nigeria also stressed on the need for African Union to find African solutions to African problems rather than depending on external intervention. Nigeria, he said, also stressed the need for the bloc to have the African Security Fund to have the capacity to intervene in the conflicts on the continent instead of relying on external partners. According to him, this will be a force that will be rapid deployment force to go to any part of the continent where there are security issues. He noted that at the moment the African Union was a bit too dependent on the outside partners for security on the continent and had to wake up in funding its operation. He also noted that the UN was only supportive at present in some of the areas of conflict on the continent, but not the ones that involve terrorism. The Federal Executive Council has approved 612 million naira as revised estimates total cost for the completion of Cham Dam and development of 100 hectares of irrigation scheme in Balanga local government area of Gombe State. The Minister of Water Resources, Alhaji Suleiman Adamu, made this known when he briefed State House correspondents on the outcome of the meeting of the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday. The meeting was presided over by Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Adamu said that the project was initially awarded in 2011 at the cost of 832 million naira, saying the augmentation now had brought the total cost of the project to 1.44 billion naira. Well, fashion keeps changing with times and people keep evolving to meet with the changing trend. The most recent is the change from artificial and synthetic hairstyles to natural hairstyles. And in this special report, Ekwe Ajide takes a look at the significance of dreadlocks.
Are rope-like strands of hair formed by matting, twisting, interlocking or rolling. It may be difficult to ascribe dreadlocks to a particular clime or culture, but it dates back as far as 2,000 years, but has not lost its relevance. However, in Nigeria, dreadlocks became fashion like 3 years ago and can be worn by males, females, young or the aged. In the olden days, those who wear dreadlocks, known as dada, were often associated with water spirit, but reverse is the case today as many wear it for status symbol. Dreadlocks can be worn short, long or extended depending on the wearer's choice. No wonder there is human traffic at dreadlock salons and operators are smiling to the banks. Uche Dread, as she is popularly known, is one of such operators who boasts of having 10 apprentices and caters for at least 30 customers on a daily basis, whereas her conventional hairstylist neighbor, Nnenna, will be most grateful if she gets up to 10 customers in a day. A visit to Uche's salon showed customers queued, waiting sometimes for hours to be attended to, not minding the time or day of the week. While at Nnenna's salon, one is served immediately.
Talking about dread is something that makes someone to look unique. It's a unique something. At least it's better than those bonds. At least it also saves money. People are knowing more about dread. So the more people are knowing, the more I'm having customers.
So, why do people now prefer dreadlocks? Some of these customers, Vivian Chuku, Blessing Okoye, Chinyere Judith, Justina Egwago, have the same answer.
It saves money. As in, you can carry it over 5 years or thereabouts. Be free, matured, and the sound packing of it is enjoyable.
It fits people and it makes people mature. You see them and you like it. Any man that you put on, any dress that you put on, it fits you. That is why I like it.
A student of purchasing and supply at the Federal Polytechnic Nekede, Ms. Chiamaka Okafo, is learning the trade to help herself in school. Some analysts said dread fashion may take over in the next 2 years in Nigeria. Ekwe Ajide, ABS News.
That's an interesting report from Ekwe. We'll move over to the international scene now, where the United States National Security Advisor has launched a scattering attack on Iran, saying, and I quote and unquote, there will be hell to be paid if Tehran try to harm the U.S. and its allies. The warning from John Bolton came after U.S. President Donald Trump and his Iranian counterpart Hassan Rouhani clashed at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. Speaking at an organization that opposed the 2015 nuclear deal with Iran, from which the Trump administration withdrew in May, Bolton criticized the deal as the worst diplomatic debacle in American history that did nothing to address the regime's destabilizing activity or its ballistic missile development and proliferation. The other 5 major powers that signed the Iran deal, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, under which Iran agreed to curb nuclear program in exchange for sanction reliefs, have made it clear that they remain committed to it. Top diplomats from France, Britain, Germany, China, and Russia agreed to establish a financial facility in the European Union to facilitate payments for Iranian imports and exports, including oil. And on the sports scene, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated Nigeria's women basketball team, the Tigress, who recorded their second straight win at the ongoing FIBA Women World Cup in Spain with a hard-fought 75-70 victory over Argentina. The president said that the nation was proud of their performance so far in the competition. The keenly contested Nigeria versus Argentina game, played at the San Cristobal de la Laguna, Tenerife, saw the Nigerian side take the first quarter 19-13. The Argentines, who before the match against Nigeria were defeated in their first two games against Turkey and Australia, showed some intent in the second quarter with a 16-13 edge over the Tigress. However, in the final quarters, the Tigress kept their nerves to win 24-20. Don't forget, you can follow us on any part of the world listening to our news and programs simply by logging on to our website, which is www.absradiotv.com, or you can like us on our Facebook page, which is at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television, or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at absradiotv.com. Would like to get your feedback. And before we end the news, we'll go through our headlines for today. Governor Obiano has restated commitment towards effective implementation of World Bank projects in the state. The governor was speaking when a delegation from the bank paid him a courtesy visit at the governor's lodge in Anambra. The state government has intensified efforts to reduce the effects of flood on farmers. Nigeria has initiated measures for African standby military force. And on the international scene, U.S. has warned Iran over threats of attacks. And that's it on the evening news. Many thanks for being with us. My name is Ifunanya Amafili. Do have a pleasant evening.